Good morning, students. Myself, Rahul Brahmane, welcome you all to our online lecture series in our subject Solid Waste Management. So, today we will learn about or today we will learn remaining portion of the solid waste management of the solid waste management. So, this is our sixth lecture of the solid waste management. So, in previous some lecture or previous 3 to 4 lecture, we learn various parameters regarding the solid waste management, various types of solid waste management, or various types of solid waste, various physical characteristics, chemical characteristics, hazardous solid waste, non-hazardous solid waste. So, uh, various parameter we already learned in the previous 3 to 4 lectures. So, remaining part of the solid waste we will learn in the today's lecture. So, in previous lecture, we learn about the various parameter, various types, and short terms, various terms in the solid waste management. That is various types of solid waste, then various sources of solid waste, then various terms that is leachate, then hazardous waste, then example of the hazardous solid waste, then non-hazardous solid waste, then physical characteristics of solid waste, chemical characteristics of solid waste. Then after that, we also discuss the various impact of the solid waste on the various parameter, that is on the water pollution, air pollution, human health, and other parameters also discussed in the previous some lecture. So today we will learn about the solid waste management hierarchy. Okay, hierarchy. Okay, so there is given the step by step process or step by step method in the solid waste management. Okay, so the solid waste management is the management in which the various parameters are arranged in a sequential manner or proper manner. So, by using that parameter, we can reduce the solid waste generation or we can manage properly. Okay. So, see, first is reduce. Okay. First is reduce. Reduce means what? In the first step, that is waste prevention. Okay. So this point or this point is mostly preferred. Okay. So best way to manage the solid waste is to reduce, means waste prevention. Okay. Waste prevention. Then second one is reuse. Okay. Reuse. That material is again and again used, that is reuse. Then third is recycle and composting. Recycle and composting. Okay, the waste material is uh, recycle, means doing the various processes on that material and convert it into the usable form. Okay, or the new product, that is recycling. Okay, and composting means what? The solid waste is converting into the various products, various uh, composting means what? Degradation of the solid waste. Okay, degradation of the solid waste. Then Next, fifth point, that is disposal. Okay, disposal means what? So disposal contains the two main methods, that is landfilling and incineration. Landfill. Okay, so reduce, reuse, recycle, and composting. Then our fourth point is energy recovery. Okay, energy recovery. I think I miss the fourth point, that is energy recovery. So see, energy recovery means what? Waste to the energy to generate the energy from the waste. That is energy recovery. And the fifth, that is last point or the last step of the solid waste management is disposal. Okay, disposal. So we already learned the various disposal procedure, or there are having main two disposal types of the solid waste, that is landfilling and incineration. Okay, landfilling and incineration. Once again, we discuss about the landfilling and incineration, so you can easily memorize what is the landfilling and incineration. So see, landfilling is the process in which the solid waste is dumped in the uh, dump the or excavate the earth and the land fill with the solid waste. Okay, landfilling. Uh, and cover it by the earth, okay, or soil for the degradation purpose. Okay, then incineration is the process in which the solid waste material is burned under the closed container. Okay, uh, so this is called as the incineration process. So by using these two process, we can dispose the solid waste. Okay. So see, the disposal, that is incineration and landfilling, is least preferred. Okay. We mostly prefer what? Reduce means waste prevention. Okay. So firstly, we try to prevent the solid waste, or to stop or to reduce the generation of the waste. Okay. So this is the 5 steps which are very important in the solid waste management. Okay. So next is the, so see, uh, in this next point, we discuss or we learn in details. So first is waste reduction. Okay, waste reduction or source reduction. Okay, so this point or this first point is most preferred. Okay, so see, definition of this: preventing waste generation at the source. Okay, means what? It is very most preferred point or steps of the solid waste management, that is waste reduction. Means what? Preventing the waste generation at the source. Okay, we already know the various sources of the solid waste generation, that is uh, household, then industrial solid waste, then uh, agriculture solid waste. Okay, so what? Prevent the waste generation at its source means what? The municipal solid waste sources from the household. So to prevent the to prevent the waste generation, okay, at the at that point, then next is uh, industrial, also try to minimize or prevent the or reduce the waste at the uh, at the uh, industry level. Then in agriculture waste or agricultural solid waste, to prevent the uh, various waste which is arises from the uh, agricultural waste. Okay, so reduce that production of the waste in that source itself. Okay. So see, in this method, using reusable packaging material, then reducing plastic and single-use item. Okay. So see, in this point, our methods given the how we can reduce the solid waste. Okay. So first is using reusable packaging material. So we can use or we can develop the reusable packaging material. So what happened? So there is a manufacturing of the packaging material is less and less generation the solid waste. Okay. So next is reducing plastic and single use items. Okay. So we can ban the single use items like plastic bottles. Okay. We can see the plastic bottles are used for the drinking purpose. So we can ban it. So what happened? So production of the plastic bottle is minimized. Okay. So uh, we can easily reduce the uh, solid waste at its source. Then next point is implementing efficient manufacturing process. Implementing the efficient manufacturing process to minimize the waste. Okay. In this point means what? Implementing the efficient manufacturing process means what? To implement such a technique for manufacturing various items in a such a way that to create or to produce the minimum wastage material. Okay. So we can say it is efficient manufacturing process. Then next is encouraging paperless operation in office. Okay. So the next point is encouraging paperless operation in offices. Means what? So for solid to prevent or to reduce the solid waste generation in the office or various commercial places, so we can uh, encourage the paperless operation in office. Means what? Less use of paper. So that's why we can easily reduce the paper waste. Okay. So in this way, waste reduction at its source reduction. So these steps is mostly preferred. Okay. Then second is reuse. Reuse. Okay. So see what is mean by reuse? Extending the life of products before disposal. Okay. Reuse means what? Every product or every material having its lifespan. Okay. Okay. Lifespan. So extending the life of products before its disposal. So it is called as reuse. Okay. Then it's having some method C, donating old clothes, then furniture and electronics. Okay. See, by donating the clothes, okay. So any person who need the cloth, so that person can use that cloth. Okay. So what happened? The waste generation is minimized and the material or that cloth is also reused. Then like furniture and electronics devices. Okay. Then next point is reusing glass bottles. Okay. We can reuse the glass bottle, then plastic containers and shopping bags. Okay. Shopping bags. Okay. So see, there is a one very good example related to these plastic containers or the reusing of plastic containers. We can see the various big chemical industries. There is having blue color chemical container. Okay. And after removing that various chemical, that container is used various public for the water storage purpose. Okay. So it is a very good example of the reuse of the plastic container. okay, for the water storage purpose, okay, then shopping bags, okay, then repairing items instead of throwing them away, okay. So buying new instrument or buying new materials, we can prefer, or we must prefer the repairing first, okay, instead of throwing them away, okay. So this is the reuse of the material, okay. Then next, that is third point, recycling and composting. Recycling and composting. So see, definition of this recycling and composting is converting waste into new products or raw material, okay. Recycling and composting means what? Recycling means what? Converting waste into the new products or raw materials. Okay. So it's called as recycling. Okay. So see, there is having methods: recycling, processing paper, plastic, metals, and glass into the new products. Okay. So these materials are the recyclable materials, that is paper, plastic, metals, and glass. These are the recyclable materials. Then composting. See, what is meant by composting? Converting organic waste. Organic waste means what? Organic waste contains the food scrap, yard waste into natural fertilizers. Okay. So composting is the process in which what happen? Converting the organic waste into the natural fertilizers. Okay. Then e-waste recycling, extracting valuable metals, gold, silver, copper from the electronic waste is called as recycling and composting. Then next point, that is waste to energy. Waste to energy. Okay. Or we can also say energy recovery. Energy recovery. Energy recovery. Okay. So energy recovery. So definition of the waste to energy is using non-recyclable waste to generate the energy. Okay. We already know that various solid waste are the produced, but out of the that solid waste, out of them, some solid waste are recyclable, some are not recyclable. Okay. So waste to energy, in this point, we use the solid waste which is non-recyclable waste to generate the energy. Okay. So see which techniques are used for the waste to energy. First one is the incineration. So incineration means what? Incineration in the burning waste to produce the electricity and heat. Okay. So incineration process, what we have to do? So to create the energy and heat, to create the electricity and heat by burning the solid waste. Okay. So see, in the incineration process, what happen? The solid waste or the non-recyclable products is burned in the closed container, and by burning that solid waste generates the heat, and the heat is boiling the water, and then steam is generated, and steam run the mechanical turbine, and the electricity is generated. Okay. So in this way, waste to energy is achieved. Okay. Then next is biogas production. Biogas production. So see how the biogas production is done. So decomposing organic waste to generate methane or fuel. Okay. So see, methane is used for the fuel, and which is generated from the decomposing of the organic waste. Okay. Then next is refuse derived fuel. Okay, converting waste into the combustible fuel for the industrial use. Okay, so these are the steps which are comes under the solid waste management. Okay, then the last point which is comes under the solid waste management is landfilling and incineration. Landfilling and incineration. See, this point or this point is least preferred. Okay. So definition of the landfilling and incineration is final disposal of waste that cannot be reused, recycled, or converted into energy. Okay. So in this point, what we have to do? Landfilling and incineration, final disposal of waste that cannot be reused, okay, or recycled or converted into energy. Okay. Then there is having some methods, that is sanitary landfills. Okay. See, engineer sites designed to reduce the environmental impact. Then open dumping. Then uncontrolled waste disposal causing pollution. Then incineration without energy recovery. So without the energy recovery, when we use the incineration, then what happens? Air pollution is arises. So burning waste without the utilizing the energy, which contributes to the air pollution. So these are the very important parameters which are comes under the solid waste management. Okay. So this is the solid waste management. Okay. Then next is waste prevention and waste reduction techniques. So there is given some waste prevention and waste reduction technique. So see one by one. So first one is waste prevention, that is in source reduction. Okay, stopping the waste before it's created. We already discussed. Goal is reduce the quantity and toxicity of the waste generated. Okay, then next is sustainable product design. Sustainable product design, designing the products with minimal package. I think we these points we already discussed in the previous some slides. Okay, so only we see, that is sustainable product design, then eco-friendly manufacturing and industry practice. Okay, then smart consumer choice. Then D is digital and paperless initiatives. Okay, uh, in this way, we already discussed in the some slides. Okay, so see, that is waste reduction. Waste reduction. So waste reduction means what? Minimizing the amount of waste that needs disposal. Okay, there is goal is extending product life. Okay, I think we already discussed it. Then reuse and repurposing, then composting organic waste, then recycling, upcycling. Okay. I think these points we already discussed in the previous slide. So now we go for the next important point, that is factors affecting the solid waste generation. So see which factors which factors affects the solid waste generation. So this is the very important point we will discuss on it. So first is population size and density. Population size and density. So see, higher population, more people generate the more waste. We already know that if the population is more, then what happen? The solid waste generation is also more. Then urban density. Urban areas often produce the more waste per unit area due to concentrated consumption and commercial activities. Okay, so this is the population size and density. Then next is economic factor. So some economic factor also affects the solid waste generation. First is income level. Higher income can lead to increase the consumption and more packaging waste. Okay. So there is having economic factor also. So the income level, if the income level is higher, then uh, it lead to increase the consumption, also increase the consumption and more packaging waste. Then next is economic growth. Economic growth. So rapid industrialization and commercial expansion after result in higher waste generation. So this is the economic factor. Then next is urbanization. Urbanization. So third factor, that is first is city living. Urban lifestyle and infrastructure tends to produce the larger amounts of municipal solid waste compared to the rural areas. Okay, as compared to the rural, the urban areas produces the large amount of solid waste. Okay, then lifestyle changes. Urban resident may more and package goods and disposable products. Okay, so depending upon the lifestyle, the solid waste generation is different. Okay, so if we compare uh, between the rural area and urban area, so from the urban area produces more solid waste as compared to the rural area, because the lifestyle is different in the rural area and urban area. So these factors is affects on the generation of the solid waste. Okay, then next is industrial and commercial activities. Industrial and commercial activities. Manufacturing industries produces the waste material, including hazardous and non-hazardous waste. Then retail service, commercial sector. Okay. Then fifth is consumer behavior and lifestyle. Okay. So disposable culture. The preference for single-use item and convenience product increase waste. Okay. The single atom or a single-use atom generates the more solid waste. Okay, awareness and practices. Consumer awareness about the sustainability can reduce or increase the waste generation depending on habits. Okay, in short we can say when we generate the one use or single use items, then it creates the large amount of solid waste. Okay, then six is cultural and social practices. Cultural and social practices. So see, in cultural and social practices includes various festivals and event. So cultural celebrations often lead to temporary in waste production, various festivals, Diwali, uh, uh, Dasra. Okay, so it creates the various or other festivals, various festivals which creates the uh, solid waste generation. Okay, then consumption and recycling effects of waste generation rates. Then seven is seasonal variation. Okay, so seasonal variation includes various tourism. So tourist seasons can significantly increase the waste in certain regions. Then agricultural cycles in rural areas, seasonal activities can impact the type and volume of waste production. So in short, we can say that seasonal variation means what? Tourism in the tourism section in the various specific region, the tourist visit to the various region and the solid waste generation is more. Then in agricultural field, the in specific season, the farming, sowing, then cropping, harvesting is done, and due to that, the waste generation is more. So these factors affect the solid waste generation. Okay. Then next is government policies and regulations. Okay, so there is having some government policies and regulations. So waste management policies. Okay, effective policies can incentives waste reduction. Okay, then various technologies advancement and infrastructure also there. So for reducing the solid waste, various government policies and regulations are working on it. Okay, then some technological advancement and infrastructure is also giving its role for the solid waste reduction. So I think all of you properly understood the solid waste management. Okay, so in this way we complete the first unit of the solid waste management subject. Okay, So I think all of you properly understood the what is meant by solid waste management, then various sources, then various parameters, okay, then various factors, then hazardous waste, non-hazardous waste, all parameters. I think all of you understood very well. Okay. So in this way, we completed our fundamental of solid waste management, various parameters. Okay. So if anyone have any doubt, they can ask. Okay. Uh, okay. So next point or next portion or the next unit or the remaining portion we will learn in the next lecture. Okay. So thank you all of you. Okay.